Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Back with another one. Well, I know y'all ain't seen me in a while with doing self love and self care. I'm always doing self love and self care. And today I am on this book. It is called Completion of Guides of Self Love. Okay? I got this book from the family, no, at a Dollar Tree, but it's five, yeah. So I'm also gonna be on the Dark Psychology because we on almost the last page, and then I'll be on the next couple of things here. I just want to say hi to you guys. I know y'all ain't seen me in a while, but I hope you guys are doing good. Hold on. Facebook and YouTube. So today we're going to be talking about some things. And I know y'all ain't seen me. I'm doing really good, and I thank God every day for all the blessings that I get, Facebook and YouTube. But we're on this book here. Now, the first page is the illustration, but this is how it look. Beautiful, huh? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let's start Facebook and YouTube. We have here, you were put on this earth to live a radiant, full, purpose and driven, joyful life. You are worth of the kind of love you deserve to wake up each day to express a courses of thoughts of your body and spirit for what lies ahead. Fortunately, these kinds of lives in many and are fast paced during this world. It can become easy to put yourself last. So this book teaches you to put yourself first, not last, but first. And the reason why I read this book to you guys here, because I'm going to be reading this book, it teaches you to love yourself first. See, I had this book in YouTube 5 or 4 years ago. I didn't even put myself first. And when you don't put yourself first, your people can suck the energy out of you. And if you do not put yourself first, people can use you. And it has something to do with that, Facebook and YouTube. You may face yourself putting your needs at the bottom of your every growth today list, to-do list. Maybe you adventure the needs of everyone else available, your own. So it's like people always doing stuff for everybody else. They do it for everybody else. This is happening every day, Facebook and YouTube. But they always forget about themselves. And then they're drained. Because they don't even have even enough to even get to themselves. And it has something to do with that. The end of the day, you have to exhale. Sometimes you got to breathe out from trying to satisfy everybody else. And the reason why you have to express and exhale to not satisfy everybody else is because when you're satisfying everybody else, you don't get the basic needs, and your self-care and self-love you don't do. And those things are very important in life. When you around friends, family, lovers, or anybody, you have to put yourself first. And you have to do self-care. And it has something to do with that. Trying to satisfy everyone else but yourself sounds friendly. Simply putting modest words into reality and modest illnesses. The illnesses have names like overwhelm. You feel overwhelmed when you're not doing self-love. You also have burnouts. Okay? It also messes up your low self-esteem. as well as your anxiety. It also messes with you with loneliness, lack of motivation, and in grief. It also makes you have grief. Also, it makes you have headaches as well as feeling lost because you always doing for other people and satisfying other people. And I have learned that Facebook and YouTube, and I had to learn that 5 years ago because I was so focused on loving everybody else. I didn't know myself, and I didn't know who I was, Jacob. And when you is so focused on satisfying everybody else, these are the symptoms that you have: overwhelm, burnouts, low self-esteem, anxiety, loneliness, lack of motivation, grief, headaches, and feeling lost because you don't have the time for yourself. When you have time for yourself, you figure out who you are, as well as your hobbies, the things that you love. What do you don't like? What do you do like? What do you stand for? What do you don't stand for? The more you are by yourself, the more you learn about you. But when you so focus on being with everybody else, you forget you. And this is the reason why I bring in this situation up in this topic today. If you are suffering from one of these modest effects, you are not alone. Everybody go through this. Everybody. The good news is that you have it within your power to heal yourself and replace those pains and feelings with calm, energy, confidence, focus, as well as inspiring hope, love, and purpose. So you figure out your purpose. You figure out loving yourself. You figure out having the hope. And the hope is you know what you want out of life and you go for it. You be inspiring to others. And you don't say it out your mouth being inspiring to others. People see you be inspiring. And it has something to do with that. As well as you are focusing on what you need to do. As well as your confidence is very rare as good. Because you know exactly who you are. And no one else can tell you who you are. As well as your energies, you be around people and they can see your energy, your vibe, your vibration. And they know that your vibration is positive. People want to be around positive people. They don't want to be around negative people. People that's like overwhelmed, anxiety, and have low self-esteem. And it has something to do with that as well here. So that is what self-love is and what it's not. Now, we're on self-care, physical, intelligence, emotions, spiritual, and social. So self-care is social, intelligence, physical, emotional, and also spiritual. So this is the book I'm reading right here. You see that Facebook and YouTube? And it has something to do with that. The author of Self-Care. This book is full of thoughts, adventures, and exercising and healing the ruins. And time. It says time tested of the solution to help you adventure the kind of inner peace and the sense of self that leads to happiness, balance, and stable of life. Using this book to guide you to help you to identify and fulfill your needs to lead the kind of life you always wanted. What is self-care? Self-care is something you do to take care of yourself, physical, intelligence, emotional, spiritual, and also social health. It is done throughout and with the intuitiveness of care for yourself in order to increase happiness, focus, stableness, joy, peace, feelings of gratitude, and self-love. That is self-care. Facebook and YouTube. I had to figure that out myself. And I read it to you guys so you can identify it each and every day. You have to give yourself self-love and self-care. Why is self-care important? The world continues to move as quickly pace, and this determines on the most valuable resources of time. Self-care is a way of reclaiming your power, as well as your body and your mind, and also embracing your own nature and pace, your nurturing in your own pace. When you practice self-care, you are your own energy to make important decisions. So you make better decisions when you're doing self-care. And it has something to do with that Facebook and YouTube. You also declare anxiety, so you don't have a lot of anxiety when you're doing self-care. You gain fulfillment and attraction more of what you are truly seeking into your life. It also increases confidence, and it helps you to stay happy as you love yourself and also others. You will bring light into so you will bring light into another wise, fast pace in the world, because you are loving yourself. People can see you loving yourself, and that's what they want to be around. They don't want to be around low vibes, and they don't want to be around a person that is overwhelmed and things like that. That's why you have to love yourself, and not just about the people. It don't matter about the people. It's about yourself. Because when you're doing self-love, you're loving you. Okay? How to use this book. This book is meant to be used to share in whatever way you see fit. Okay? Self-care is a journey, so there is no right or wrong way to use this book. Okay? So this is what it tells you about the book. Okay? I'm going to read that part. The next one we will be on Facebook and YouTube is motivation. Okay? Motivation. Motives. And that is that. Facebook for self-care. And self-care is very important, and that's why I had to read that little piece to you. Because when you don't love yourself, you're not filling your own cup, and you're not filling your own self. I had to figure that out a lot of times, and sometimes I still figure it out today, Facebook and YouTube. But it still come back to me, you know. I ain't perfect. And I know you ain't perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. You heard me, Facebook and YouTube. So, we're on dark psychology. Okay? And the last one we was on was you know what we was on. Okay, now we're on emotional manipulation and red flags. The first chapter, with the knowledge of self, with the knowledge of different dark traits that are used as manipulation as a person, targeting their emotions, while there is more ways to manipulate a person's emotions. The most modest in this chapter is fair common, knowing them should be able to protect you from manipulating or even prevent you from practicing those to get what you want from people and situations. So when someone manipulate you, they manipulate people and situations. They get what they want, and it has something to do with that. The informing trait of these traits is acknowledging into unknown positions of harm and imbalance in relationships and emotional well-being. So, having being around a manipulator, your relationships is not even healthy, and it has something to do with that. In this chapter, getting to know the warning signs of emotional manipulations is gentle. When there are normal traits, time it might be difficult to pinpoint what it is. There are some common characters that can help you better know when they may be the target of manipulating behaviors. Power imbalances. Manipulation often use power and determination to get their way and will often take advantage of any weaknesses they are decepting in their targeting. So they will target you, as well as if they see your weaknesses, they will manipulate you. And it says the power to reflect to the way in which the power is exercising within a relationship and social status. So they do it in relationships as well as social status by manipulating you. You have to look at them. You have to look at the signs. I have. The reason why I read this book, Facebook, because all my life I was manipulated, gaslighted, as well as all these traits in this book, like I keep telling you. I had to learn those lessons, and I had to speak up for myself and learn how to speak up for myself in a positive way, not a negative way, but in a positive way. You can walk away from a person anytime when they're trying to manipulate you. You don't have to stand there and let them manipulate you. But some manipulators don't like you to confront them. And some of them even deny that they manipulating you. That's why you have to walk away when you see those red flags. Yeah, you sometimes can confront them. But these days, people don't like to be confronted and they don't like to be checked. So that's why you have to walk away when you see those red flags. That's how you prevent it. It's involving the imbalance of power between involvings or groups. So groups can manipulate you as well when they are partying and having more power and control over others. So people love to have power over others, but it's in groups, social settings, and in relationships. This is how how manipulators work. Manipulators expose these powerfulness to gain control. So they expose your weaknesses to gain control. And it has something to do with that here. As well as influence over their target. So they will expose you to gain control. But not just over that. To influence their target. So they use your weaknesses. Okay, and it has something to do with that. Intents to influence behaviors and decisions for a long term. So a manipulator can manipulate you for a long time, and it has something to do with that. In our social, there are normal influences at play, yet none are determined as the manipulator by their cunning indecisiveness. Some of them can be indecisiveness. The form of influencing is different settings, surely as selling a person management as well as leadership with the goals of gaining involvement to make informal decisions. So they also even like taking advantage of powerful people, leaders, and people that's like strong-minded. They like to manipulate them to see can they have power and control over them. And it has something to do with that here. However, arising when the surface is influencing someone in order to maintain control over their actions as well as their reactions and as well as their choices. So it's their actions, their reactions, as well as their choices. So they also use your actions. They also use your reacting. They want to see how you act. And then on top of that, they want to see how you make choices. And it has something to do with that. That's what these manipulators do. And it has something to do with practicing these decisions is not the best in terms. But the key is between influencing. They like to influence others form of influencing emotional manipulations and lies. So they tell other people about you that is lies to make themselves feel good. And they do it behind your back. You won't even know it. And they do it behind your back, and then you going in the room and they looking at you like, and you don't know why these people looking at you, but they talking about you behind your back. And it has something to do with that. But then they grin up in your face like they your friend. And it has something to do with that as well. Facebook and YouTube. It has something to do with focusing on manipulating someone's emotions to achieve the outcome and to serve their self. So they want to serve their self. When they send you down and out, and they can take advantage of you, and they can manipulate you, and they can tell you what you want to hear, and you believe in it. See, people don't like when you ask them questions. Ask them questions when they telling you a story. And then you will see, is the story the same? Because people will come and tell you what you want to hear all day long. But you got to ask them questions. Because if you don't ask them questions, they got a problem with that. They get offensive. The manipulator don't like you asking them any type of questions. Because they get offensive about that. Because it's like they saying you telling them they a lie. And that's what it has something to do with Facebook. That's why you have to walk away from the situation. Okay? One of the warning signs is something is wrong, you should address it. I told you, you got to address them. Address it. But sometimes you can't address it because they are denied. And it has something to do with that. It is if it draws you in with the influence of gatherings, then your own free choice. So they even have other people against you. But that's why you got to know thyself. And you have to let them know you have a free choice. It's your choice, not their choice, but it's your choice. Everybody in this world have a choice. Everybody in this world have an opinion. And everybody in this world have the right to tell their opinion. And some people don't like people's opinions, but you have to respect their opinion. Because that's what's going on. That's what you have to do. You might not like it, and it might teach you a lesson, but you gotta respect their opinions. And some of these days, people don't respect people's opinions, and they don't give a doggone care. They will just manipulate you and gaslight you to get what they want. And sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and also address it. But when you address it, they will deny it. Okay? And even though they deny it, you told them. And that's why you have to walk away. Undermining your confidence. So they even use confidence against you. Your confidence, they'll use that against you. Emotional manipulators or criticizing as a means to gain control and power over the victim and considering putting them down and attacking their self-esteem. So they'll be like, you ain't nothing, what you think you is, But you need to understand, when somebody telling you that, what are they? Ain't nobody perfect in this world. Everybody got failures. Everybody got flaws. And when they telling you that, you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to tell them, hold on, you got failures too. That's all you got to tell them. You don't got to be loud to them, but they got failures too. They ain't perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. And it has something to do with that here. It has something to do with the manipulator is a weakening your sense of self-worth. So it's like they want your self-worth to be low and down. They want to criticize you like they better than you. And this happens every day. People every day act like they better than the next. I know doggone well I ain't better than the next. I'm a sinner. I'm also do wrong. I'm not perfect. No one is. But these days, people act like they too good for the next, or they too good for somebody else. And they're not. We all are equal in this world. And it has something to do with that. And they create while the victim become more verbal on the manipulation to verbal and accept. The manipulator may target the victim's life. So they even judge you on your lifestyle. They sure will. Oh, she look nasty. Oh girl, look at her hair. Oh girl, look at her feet. Oh girl, look at her man. Oh girl, look at her clothes. Oh girl, look at her car. Oh girl, look at her house. Oh girl, look at this. Hold on. How your house looking? Hold on, how you looking? Ain't nobody perfect, but that's what they would do, manipulators, to make themselves look good here. Leading them to seek validation of the manipulator. Addictions, criticizing someone's decisions. So they'll criticize your decisions too. They want you to question yourself. As well as their confidence in their own judgment. So they want you to believe what they saying in their own judgment. Nah, And it has something to do with making them more likely to depend on the manipulator and gain approval. So they want you to believe what they saying and things like that. When you have your own point of view, when you have your point of view to say what you want to say, you have a free choice. And it has something to do with that here, Facebook. By targeting their self-esteem, their emotional manipulator, and creating the power to imbalance with the victim, becoming more reliable on the manipulator to verbal and accept. And surely of a situation, the manipulator behaviors and seeking support as well as their self-confidence. So they want you to give all yourself to them so they can control it. That's what a manipulator is. It has something to do with emotional validation. Manipulators influence and switch between the love and effectiveness. So they even use love and effectiveness against you. Then become cold directly and anger. So they be cold to you, distance towards you, and angry towards you. So they be cold towards you, they be distant towards you, and then they be angry towards you. The more the behavior keeps the victim off balance, making them more to complain with the victim determination. This roller coaster, they put you on a roller coaster of emotions, influencing and making it difficult for the victim to trust their own judgment. So they don't even want you to trust your own judgment. They want to put you on a roller coaster like you have no free choice. And it has something to do with that. When a manipulator shows their victim with love and effectiveness, they create a strong emotional bond. So first they begin to have a strong emotional bond so they can manipulate you. And attraction. This victim feels verbal and also appreciate and cherish. So they act like that you appreciate them and cherish and everything else. I told you, they make you feel so good, and they make you believe. They want you to tell your business to them and everything else with emotional bonds. So that's why I said in relationships, people need to not tell their partner everything. They don't need to tell a partner everything, because your partner is not telling you everything. You have to put boundaries up in relationships. You have to put boundaries up in relationships. Like I told you, that's how self-love is. Sometimes you don't have to talk to your partner or your lover or anyone every day. You have to put them boundaries up. And you got to look at them red flags. Because people will come in your boundaries and want to stay in your boundaries all day to drain your energy and to drain you. You have to say, hey, I'm finna do me some self-care. I'll talk to you later. You don't have to sit around and go off on them, but you can say that to them. And they're going to have to respect your boundaries as well as you're going to have to respect theirs. But these days in relationships, people be clingy. And I learned that because I used to be one of them back in the days. But clinginess is an unhealthy relationship, and it's also toxic because you're not giving your partner space, and you're not giving yourself space. You want to have your partner miss you. You don't want to be having your partner not want to be around you. You want your partner to miss you like you should be missing your partner. You don't want to be clingy around your partner 24/7 because that is toxic. Hey, that is toxic. And it has something to do with that. That's what it has something to do with Facebook and YouTube. Hold on. Sorry about that. That was my son. But that is toxic, and it has something to do with that. He just woke up. But that is toxic. You have to put up boundaries in relationships, family, as well as lovers, as well as co-workers, as well as friends. Because they will come in your boundaries, and you have to put boundaries up to them, as well as they need to be putting boundaries up towards you. This sudden change is behaviors to design the still of fear, anxiety into the victim, making them manipulated to approve and effectiveness. So they gain a bond from you first. No, they strengthen emotional bond. Emotional bond is when you telling your business, you telling them everything, and you getting comfortable with them and things like that. That's why you gotta look at who you can trust and who you can't trust. And how you do that is looking at their route. That means they route. How they take care of their own self. If they not taking care of their own self, and for some of them, they take care of their own self, but you gotta also look at their environment. How they living. You know what I'm saying? Who they hang around. Those things shows who a person is truly is as well. What they say out their mouth, you gotta observe, and those type of things. How they live, how their lifestyle is. Those are the things you have to look at. Those are signs and signalities. Okay? And sometimes they'll play you like a fiddle for a while. That's why you don't need to jump into a relationship with a person real quick, or a friendship with a person, or a relationship with a person real quick. You gotta let it take time, because that's how you find that person's character as well as they find in your character. It takes time to build a bond. But when somebody is quickly trying to build a bond with you, those are red flags. Something is wrong with that. I had to learn that. That's why I put boundaries up towards another individual. My relationships, I put boundaries up. My friends, I put boundaries up. As well as my family, I put boundaries up. Because I've learned that lesson. I used to be a type of person that was quick to get in relationships with other people to make me feel good about myself. I didn't know who I was, but now I do. I can sit back, relax by myself without even being in a relationship, without having a friend, or without being with someone. That's how you find yourself, and that's how you find your happiness. Because you find out your hobbies, what you love. You find your purpose. You find you also have time with spirit and the Most High. And when you get them bonds with yourself and the Most High God, you figure out you. And then you will have the time to find your soul tribe. And your soul tribe will respect your boundaries as well as you will respect theirs. If your soul tribe is not, and your friends are not respecting your boundaries, you don't need them to be your friend. And they don't need to be your friend if you can't respect their boundaries. This is the lesson I had to learn myself. Okay? It says back and forth between love and anger and keeping the victim off balance on an edge. the more you walk on eggshells. So they want you to walk on eggshells. And eggshells is they want you to walk the way they want you to walk. Like you living your life for them. Yeah. Trying to. The manipulator next move is mood swings. So they'll play mood swings on you. One day they happy, one day they not. One day they irritated, one day they act like the victim to you. One day they irritated, one day they happy, one day they not. You gotta look at those. There's more mood swings. They don't stay the same. They change up on you quick as a dime. You know what I'm saying? That's what it has something to do with her. The emotions create a sense of determination or manipulation as the victim becomes, maintaining the moments of love and effectiveness as an outbursts and anger. So they even use outbursts on you, anger, or even withdraw from you. The victim self-esteem and confidence. So they play with your self-confidence by being angry, withdrawing from you, and outbursting on you. The further of a manipulator and control. Be cautious of the switches in someone's feelings. So that's why I said you got to look at people's feelings and their emotions, because they even switch up on you. Real quick. Okay? The cautious switch is someone feeling towards you in unclear emotions. So they don't even know their emotions. They going here and there and there and here and all that. It has something to do with if you find yourself on the edge while trying to figure out how and having a positive relationship with them, you may end up accepting them. Accepting whatever they got going on. You don't need to be somebody's friend. That's what's wrong with people today too. They act like they need that person. And they want somebody here to depend on them. And it's a lot of people that do that in relationships. They make you depend on them. But you don't have to depend on nobody but the Most High God and yourself. You don't need to depend on nobody. When they withdraw from you, that shows what you need to know about them. But people depend on people. They depend on their resources. They depend on their emotions. They depend on them. And you don't need to depend on nobody. Because when you depend on others, you always going to fall in this world. Depending on others is going to make you fall. Only one you need to depend on is yourself and the Most High God. When you depend on the Most High God, and yourself, you gonna be cool. But when you depending on everybody else, you gonna always fall. You gotta depend on the Most High God and yourself. Facebook and YouTube. The lack of accountability. And the lack of accountability is with the manipulators is they don't want to accept what they do. Okay? That's this other way. So now you know what manipulators are and what they like to do to others and take advantage of them. I used to be one of them manipulators back then and 5 years ago. But I had to go through a death and a rebirth, and I had to be awoken. And I had to change my patterns. And I had to look at my shadow side. Everybody has one. Facebook and YouTube. So I'm finna go. I hope y'all take care. You know, I had to give y'all some of that self-love, you know. So I'm gonna get this on out there for y'all. We have her time. Told you it take time. And it has something to do with that her. Time span. Worrying is time. So when you worrying her, it's time. Time. Okay, we got time here. Okay. What else? We have here, I told you, you got to figure out yourself the shadow side and the dark side here, okay, with assertiveness. You have the right to change your mind. You have the right to change your mind to anybody. Yeah. And it has something to do with that as well. Give me one more, Spirit. And we also have here passion. So you have the right to change your mind in passions. Lighten up your life by honoring your deep desires. Passion. You have choices as well here. And when you make choices, y'all need to meditate on them. The choices that y'all make, meditate on them. And it has something to do with that. And when you do that, you find yourself. You find yourself. Because that's how you figure out yourself here. Okay? Surrender to your power. Okay? Surrender to your power. And it has something to do with that here. Okay? So you take care of Facebook and YouTube. I'll see you later. Bye bye.